So many thanks to the Dayton Hamvention for inviting us. First time this year to present about our DXpedition V73 Whiskey to the Marshall Islands 2025. My name is Philipp, Delta Kilo 6 Sierra Papa, from the Munich area in southern Germany. I hope that the English I speak is good enough. So cope with me if I have to find some words during the presentation. All right, so this is a project which we internally called the 100,000 QSOs from the Pacific project, because during the sunspot cycle high, this should be possible. And it was always a dream of ours to go for 100K, which is not easily achievable, but achievable, especially during this sunspot cycle. So I will go to our targets in a few minutes, but keep that in mind for the 100,000 QSOs. For the general information, who are we? So we are basically a team of 6 with the average age of 28 years. We call ourselves the next generation of the DXpeditioners. We wanted to go in February. This has several reasons, one of those being we got a lot of students still in the team, and they only have spare time during February, during semester break. So we had to get this within the planning, and so we choose February 12th to 24th as the planned 12 days activity. What did we want to do? We wanted to do 160 through 6 meters, all modes. We have asked the government for a license on 5 megacycle, but this was not granted, unfortunately. So our focus was on the other bands. The license actually was not real of a problem, except the only problem being it was issued only in January. So the V73 Whiskey call sign was only confirmed by email, but the license in hand was only in January. So the license is valid from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. We had a good email contact with the local authorities, and so this was not a real problem down there. We wanted to go to a rural island within the Majuro Atoll. You can fly directly into Majuro from Hawaii, for example, with a big airplane, 737 MAX 8. So a lot of space for any additional equipment, as well as a lot of operators. This rural island, you will see a lot of pictures later, but it was kind of a QTH for us. The travels we did was mainly from Munich Airport as well as London Heathrow, westbound via the US. As I mentioned, it is via Hawaii, where we stayed overnight and then had the ongoing travels to Majuro, continued by a roughly 20-25 minute boat ride through the Majuro Atoll to our rural island in the north of the atoll. So this is the basic facts about our DXpedition. Let's go ahead. Who was on the team? So you see on the top left corner, it's myself, Philipp, DK6SP as a team lead, 27 at the time, can do all the modes, CW, SSB, and DG, as all of these operators listed here, which has a lot of flexibility for our team. You see the co-lead upper in the middle, Sven, DJ4MX, our CW machine gun, 22 years of age, still a student, mechatronics. We got Tommy, Hotel Alpha 8 Radio Tango from Hungary, 26, IT, website, infrastructure guy. We have Jamie, M0 STV from England, 24, also all modes as a team member, co-lead for last year's 8 Radio 7 X-Ray Guyana DXpedition. We have Yannick, DK1YH, as a team member and being the youngest this time, 21 years of age, a law student. We consider him as, he was never been on a DXpedition before. We consider him as the next generation who has not had any contact with this environment before. And we have Braco, Echo 77DX from Bosnia, as the oldest, but he is a very seasoned DXpeditioner and contester. And as all of us, we are definitely ready to share the knowledge we have amongst each other and the next generation as well. So this is our team, 28 years of age as the average. Where do we want to go? The Republic of the Marshall Islands is, of course, in Oceania, in the Pacific area. We went to the IOTA reference OCO29, which is the RATAC chain. It has a size of roughly 181 square kilometers, scattered around 24 coral atolls, and 1,156 individual islands, where we have been on one I will come to in a few minutes. The whole Marshall Islands have roughly 42,000 residents, half of them being on the Majuro Atoll, which is half of the size of my local town at home in Germany. So not a lot of people, but on the given space, you will see people all around. It is from Europe, UTC plus 12 hours, so completely shifting. Jet lag is on the way, and you can pay in United States dollars down there. So this is some general information about the Marshall Islands. Going ahead, I mentioned them earlier, our targets. If you do such a project, remember the 100,000 QSO project, you want to aim for some targets. Officially, we said 60,000 plus QSOs. That's our target we want to go for. You never know. If something happens, 60,000 is more achievable than 100K. We wanted to do CW, SSB, and RTTY for the human modes, as well as FT8. Having RTTY on the menu, we wanted to have like a digital mode available for all those who do not do FT8 these days, so they still can get their digi bands and mode slots. Having RTTY on the menu, we wanted to have 2,000 QSOs in that mode at least. We wanted to lay a focus on the latest Clublog Most Wanted ranking, where, of course, various parts of the world will profit from the operation. Being on this rural QTH in the middle of nowhere, we also wanted to profit from this QTH on the low bands, having lower noise on these bands. So we also expected a lot of that to be happening. Being all contesters, members of the Bavarian Contest Club, we also wanted to focus on a multi-single, multi-two entry within ARRL CW contest, having also WRTC in our minds to qualify. So also providing this multiplier in the contest for all you US guys. And as the last target we had, we wanted to be on the Clublog livestream. It's really paid off last year in Guyana. So we had a lot, or let's say very less duplicate rate. So we wanted to keep this up so people definitely know they are in the log. And we wanted to do a daily free of charge LOTW upload for everyone, because all the foundations and clubs funded us upfront, which is a big bonus for us. So we wanted to give back to the community as last year as well. We will verify these targets later in the end, so keep them in mind. So what did we do? So in the beginning, we had a lot of preparations, of course. Such a project, you will see some numbers in a few slides, involves a lot of logistical planning and a lot of manpower to get onto there. So our logistics QTH, my contest location in the Bavarian countryside of DJ8MG, my friend, was set once again as the logistics HQ. We were building a lot of new antennas. As you remember probably from Guyana, we had horizontal Yagi antennas with us. This time we had direct beach access. So we went for mainly VDAs, so vertical dipole arrays, and we didn't have them in stock. We have DJ2YA sitting here, Uli, who helped us with all the calculations. Thanks again for the involvement there. So we had to build them all from scratch. We had good sponsors aboard like Spiderbeam, Mastrand and all these, getting us good prices on all the equipment, so we could set them up front, test them and store them in the warehouse. We also did receive new coax cable, lighter coax cable from SSB Electronics, for example. We tested all the radios and amplifiers at this QTH way up front, so this was definitely needed. And German project planning definitely includes that as well, to have it on site, just unpack everything and then go ahead and run the pileups. This is another few photos of low-band antennas we had with us. I will go in detail in a bit. So we tested this all out on the fields we had available there. You see a lot of local helpers here, which you probably never seen before. But this is the local club of mine and Sven, DJ4MX, who really helped us with all the way through the DXpedition planning. And yeah, here, for example, you see a pre-series low band feed box for 160, which was there tested on this testing weekend. In total, we had 2 testing weekends, 3 days in a row, where we tested all this equipment. So a lot of manpower got into this as well. And I want to mention once again, without these local helpers and also local friends, it would not have been possible to get all this manpower in and get this all prepared in preparation for our DXpedition. Let's go ahead to some impressions we had. So you see a few numbers on the slides. On the picture on the right, you see that most of the equipment was actually traveling with us from Munich Airport in Germany, so we didn't ship anything in advance. We have the philosophy that we want to have all the equipment all the time with us so we know where it is and we can act if something is happening. We had 1 oversized luggage for 2 times 18 meters spider pole masts for the low band antennas, and the rest was stowed in normal size 23 kilo luggage pieces, as you see on the pictures. Amplifiers and radios all in hand luggage and personal items. So this was also taken care of. What we also did is the pre-clearance with the German customs. So this makes our life very easy once we go into the security and custom controls. We have German custom papers with a German stamp on there, which really was a good thing to have on the travel. We just opened our folder with all the German documents and they said, okay, that's good, go ahead. Yeah, we also had lists, what is happening in all the luggage pieces, itemized lists with the serial numbers, not only to have them available for customs, but also makes repacking a lot easier in the end, as you have 23 kilos in each luggage piece, and it needs to go back as it was, and it just saves time in the end. You're totally delulu, you don't know anything after 14 days of operating under the heat in the Pacific, so you just pack according to the list. Yeah, on the left side, you see Brazzo and Yannick, when we already arrived with the equipment in Majuro, but I'll get to this in a second. All right, some more impressions. As I said earlier, Jamie traveled from London Heathrow. He just had 1 amplifier, 1 radio with him, that's it. Rest was in Munich, so he traveled via London, Toronto to Hawaii. We traveled through San Francisco and then to Hawaii. We had 1 night in KH6, not much going on there, just had dinner, and then yeah, 4 hours of sleep, but lack of sleep is a DXpedition thing, so we prepared well for this as well. Once we checked in the very early morning in Honolulu, it was just an uneventful flight. You see on the left, probably a DXCC, many of you didn't work yet. So that's KH3, Johnston Atoll. This is the only thing you see on the flight to Majuro Atoll. So after 3 hours, we were very excited to look out of the window and see this. We actually negotiated if we want to parachute down there to activate this, but 400 kilos of equipment going down the parachute. So we decided to proceed to Victor 7 instead. All right. So this is our QDH. So we found this great location with a really amazing and easy to deal host named Sherwood, Tibon. It's his family island, Bokan Butin Island. You can book it through Airbnb easily. They have 2 accommodations on there. It has a 65 kVA generator on site, which powers the island. We have lots of space for antennas. We asked if we can erect some antennas there, and he said, man, do what you want. We said, okay, the North Shore, it will be for Europe, Japan, US as the main directions. So on the left you see our shack, the glamping tent, it's called. They're currently renovating the whole island, so it looks a little bit rough, but it's getting better. He wants to do a little resort on the island. So he's building, you will see this in the video later of the drone footage we have. He's building a lot of new housing over there, so it's an ongoing project over there. And of course, as we booked the whole island. So the 2 available accommodations on Airbnb we booked. So there were just the workers, the owner, and ourselves on the island, which was kind of good, seeing nobody for 2 weeks in a row. So just the radio and propagation to deal with. We had 6 beds, let's call them beds, some inflatable mattresses and stuff, but 6 beds across 3 housings over there. I said we booked 2, but one is split in 2 apartments. So we used the whole island to build the antennas, you will see. And as I said, we're the only guests there, which made things a lot easier than normal. Coming to the station layout, as mentioned, we had 6 radios with us. It's 3 times Yaesu FTDX10, 1 Elecraft K3S, an ICOM 705 and an ICOM IC7300, 3 expert amplifiers, 2 being 1K3s, 1 being a 1K5, 1 ACOM 500S lent by ACOM, and the Juma PA1000. I will go into detail in the next slide, just that you see this was all connected with 800 meters of coax, so having this in the luggage was kind of challenging, but as I mentioned earlier, we got a lightweight H155 cable with us, which definitely served its purpose for the low bands at least, and then we used this to do the long ways to the low band antennas. Let's go ahead to the antenna layout. Do we have? Is that working? Do you see that on the screen? Probably not. Okay, so we go by the numbers. So we had for 160 a T antenna with 2 elevated radials right on the North Shore, which was the most away antenna for us. This is roughly 200 meters away. It was set directly in the water. You will see a picture on the next slide. We had on number 2, staying on the North Shore, a quarter wave vertical with 3 elevated radials for 40 meters directly over the water. We had a 30-meter vertical dipole, also directly placed over the water. Then, as mentioned earlier, the 2-element VDAs for 20 through 10 meters. For 6 meters, we brought a 4-element Yagi, one of the 2 Yagis we had actually. We had the X-Commander vertical with us for 40 through 10, which was actually the first antenna deployed, and then we were QRV within the first 4 hours on island. So this was a task we set ourselves. We want to be on the island. We get the first 2 operators in the shack and operate to make the most out of it. Number 12 on the west shore, let's call it, is the quarter wave vertical for 80 meters, which was placed on the beach. Yes, there is somehow a beach, but not a very favorable beach. So there is the quarter wave vertical as well as RX systems. We tested and brought various systems like triangles, DHDLs, as well as 160, 107 meters long beverage. All of these unfortunately failed on the island. All the time, the TX antennas were better for us. So we're still negotiating on what the outcome was, but why they didn't work for us. But that's it. You have to deal with what you have while you're on the expedition. So this is the setup. I want to go into some detailed pictures. On the left, you see myself and E77DX erecting the triangle antennas directly in the bush. In the middle, you see the preparation for 80 meters. And on the right-hand side, you see DJ4MX with E77DX mounting the 160 meter antenna, which I remind you is the 18 meter spider pole. DJ4MX is around 6 feet tall, like 1.80 meters, and the water comes up to this point. So we needed to raise the antenna with this pipe, which was placed on the coral stone, and then guide to the ground. It never failed on any antenna. All the VDAs and all the verticals stayed on this mechanical wonder, we call it. The 18 meter pole was placed on this 2 meter-ish high pole, and then guide to the coral stone. When we first arrived on the island, of course, the first thing you do is you confirm the locations of the antennas, if it's even accessible as you planned. And it was definitely not the place, not the thing we expected to have so much vegetation on there. So we definitely reconfigured our plans and went ahead and put them all in the water, which was the best we could ever do. So sometimes bad things become good things. It was actually very harsh conditions on the coral. Where's my mouse? Here. On the coral stones where the antennas were set. Some toes were cut, some shoes were lost. But that's the DXpedition lifestyle we all want to live. So we cope with that. And as I mentioned earlier, we packed everything accurately in bags, saying what is what, to just unpack, sort it through, and then go deploy the antennas as fast as possible. Of course, with 30 degrees and felt 120% humidity, it's kind of a job to do that, but all the stations and antennas were up within 2.5 to 3 days. Keeping in mind that always 2 operators were in the shack operating from 4 hours in, arriving on the island. All right. Let's go ahead. This is our location once again from a drone shot. So this is the northwest of the island. This is the glamping tent. You see some antenna preparations on there. You see the 4-element 6 meter Yagi in the front. Over here, this spider beam pole features a lightweight 4-element wire Yagi designed by E77DX as a comparison between the VDA as well as the horizontal antennas. And we can say now that always the VDA is paid off. Always. We just used it as a second direction over the island from time to time, having a stack match with us. So it was good to have, but next time we don't take it. Yeah, this for that. Again, you see how cozy it was within the shack. So we set up 3 tables, 2 stations on each table. Operating position 6 operators at a time. We wanted to make the most out of it. We had great rates among the whole activity. Some would say rather good conditions and openings to all parts of the world, actually. Though if you have something like this going on, you also encounter some equipment failures. So we lost 1 amplifier, 1 radio during the operation on day 8. So rather to the end of the operation, but we just left it as it is. We didn't do any repairings there. It was good to have then 5 stations for us. There was still enough activity on the band, so we focused on that. What else do you do? Of course, there's 1 or 2 hours a day where there's not so much activity on the band, so you go swimming, snorkeling. You can do that. A lot of wildlife is going around, sharks, fish, everything. You can swim with those. Yeah, and of course also household activities, because we decided we want to do this ourselves as well. So we cooked, we did laundry, we did supply trips back to Majuro Atoll with the boat, because we can just store so much fresh produce, tuna and stuff in the fridge. So every 4 to 5 days we did a restock trip to Majuro Atoll as well. All right, let's go ahead to some high-band antennas. On the left, once again, the 4-element 10-meter Yagi by E77DX. You see once again the mast mountings directly on the coral stone, and it goes up to the end of the pipe, the white pipe you see in the pictures. when the tide comes in. So it rises around 1.5, 1.6 meters. And it was harsh conditions at times with heavy thunderstorms and rain as well. But that's just a Pacific, as I was told. Sometimes it does what it does. All right, let's go to some pictures of the low band antennas. On the left, you see 80-meter quarter wave on the beach. In the middle and to the right, you see the 160T antenna. As you seen earlier in the picture, directly also mounted on the white pipe. And this photo in the middle is at low tide. So you have the comparison. And on the right, that's myself mounting 160. So yeah, that's for the low band antennas. So in the end, we achieved 100,000 QSOs after 12 days of activity. Unfortunately, Jamie was not with us by then because he had to leave early for work in the UK. But thanks to the many callers around the world for keeping up the endless pileup. So we could have gone on for another 2 weeks easily and keeping up the rate. Yeah, the Clublog live stream, as you probably remember, was not up for the first few days. We encountered some problems. We had packed some Plan B, Plan C, so routers and stuff for SIM cards, but we wanted to actually buy a SIM card and it was not possible. Because they reused the numbers on this tiny little island, or these tiny little atolls, and it was just not available. So they told us upon arrival, come back on Friday. So we did, and just got an eSIM. This eSIM was ringing 24/7 because it was the old number of a bus driver. Yeah, it was kind of working, but inside the shack, where we had to place the phone, the signal was a little bit on and off at times, so it was not really a thing. We decided against Starlink at the first thing because we were ensured that there was internet available at the shack, but it wasn't. So in the end, we organized a Starlink device which was on Majuro already, and then we had proper internet at the shack as well, and kept up the Clublog live stream and LOTW uploads daily. All right, on the right you see us celebrating 100K, so it was kind of a day. All right, now I have a short video of the atoll, of the Bokan Butin Island itself. On the left you see our QTH. In the middle, the big white tent is our sleeping quarters. On the bottom you see the newly structured housing they do. The boat arrival on the bottom. This is now looking towards Europe on the left. To the right is North America. So a perfect takeoff for all the antennas we had on the North Shore. You see the neighboring islands. There's literally nothing on there. Just weekend vacation homes for the people owning these islands. So perfectly to go to. What we also had is politicians coming to our island because there's a little meeting area for the president and stuff on the island. Actually, our host was once back in the days a senator for Majuro Atoll, so he has all the connections and is well networked among the community. So this is looking south, Victor Kilo Zulu Lima-ish. So we worked a couple of those guys on 6 meters. We made some of them very happy. So this is also looking towards the airport in the south. All right, this to the video. Once it all ended, we packed up. As I said, 14 luggage pieces. It's kind of a lot. So we checked everything in the Majuro airport. The staff was not really confused because they all take so much stuff with them because they can export the fish to Hawaii somehow. So they all take like 6, 7 luggage pieces at once. The only thing we paid at the airport was a $25 fee to leave the island, actually, as an airport fee, but then it was an uneventful flight back to Hawaii. And we stayed a couple more extra days at KH6YY, Alex in Oahu, to come down a bit and get some rest. All right, before I get over time, let's go to some statistics and verify our targets. So we did 103,857 queues in the end, with over 23,000 unique calls, which is not bad from the Pacific area. We got a good distribution of modes, where we have nearly 60% of human modes in CW, SSB, and RTTY. Our target said we want to do 60,000 plus QSOs, achieved. Minimum 2,000 RTTY, achieved. All continents profited from the DXpedition, check. Priority on low bands with having over 22% of the QSOs from 160 to 30 meters, check, I would say. We did a multi-2 entry within ARR LCW 2025 to provide the rare multiplier, check. And the club log live stream and daily free of charge LOTW upload was also done in the end as well. So all goals achieved, and project was ended very good. All right, so once again, this was our team, E77DX on the left, followed by DJ4MX, myself, Tommy from Hungary, Jamie and Yannick. We are looking in the direction of Europe here in the back. Exhausted, but very happy in the end. Next time we take the photos in the beginning and not on the very last day. So that's also a learning we had. All right, QSL service. We have just sent the cards to print. QSL is via DJ4MX. We do club lock, which is preferred for OQRS, but you can also mail us the stuff. Bureau is free of charge. You can get that card. Direct is €4. You can also mail the card, include €2 and a self-addressed envelope. If you have any problems with LOTW, just let us know on email. You will see the email in the end. Just shortly mentioning all our sponsors and supporters, with the biggest being the Northern California DX Foundation. I see a few of the directors in the audience. Thank you very much. I want to mention here that you paid everything up front, which helped us a lot, as well as paying full flights for 3 of our members, the youngest ones, which are still studying or don't have the money to do such the expeditions. So in the end, it was roughly $20,000 from NCDXF, which helped us a lot. You probably recognize some of the US clubs in here. So we reached out to a couple of them, and we were always happily welcomed, and even small donations made the difference here. And of course, the many individual supporters we have. Probably a lot of you did so, and they're all listed on the website we have. What we also did for the nearly 1,000 individual sponsors, we send out these thank you for your support letters on email. And maybe the question is now, who worked us and who got one of these? Who worked us on Victor 7? A couple guys here, very good. And who received such a certificate over here? There we go. So next time, you will receive also one. What we also did here is we sent over 12,000 update emails to these supporters, to the individuals, and with photos, with blog posts from the island, which was greatly accepted by the community. They even asked us, where is the next one? Where is the next one? And we provided that during the expedition as well. All right, this is all the information, Facebook and X, the website. If you have any questions, you can ask them now, or in the fact of the time, we can do that outside as well. Just one short video in the end here. You see the beach. That's why I was saying in the beginning. There are a lot of crabs around, so there's not really lying down and enjoy the Pacific. It's probably a little. You see it's going back and forth in there. So this is the situation on the beach. But we enjoyed it anyways. So thank you very much for coming here. And if you have any questions, let me know.